Welcome back to the library garden. Well, it's pretty soggy out there, so this week's episode is going to be inside. Jeremy, though, is still out there. But I hope he's okay. I'm a little worried about him. Hope he doesn't catch a cold. So we're here in the break room to talk about seed harvesting. And look at all of this that came out of the garden this year. We've got the wheat we harvested in an earlier episode. We've got those pale yellow beans you might remember, now all dried. We've got the popcorn from the last episode. And we have the squash, which I'm going to start with today. So when you get ready to harvest your squash seeds, you're going to want to make sure you have a sharp knife. That's going to make this a lot easier and safer. And unlike when you're just cooking a squash and you might slice right through, you don't want to damage the seeds. So you're going to go around and sort of gingerly score it so that you can then just crack it open. And I've already made those cuts here. And then you can just go ahead and crack it open. See all those seeds? So then you're going to be scooping those squash seeds out just like you would anytime you were just preparing a squash to eat. You're just going to get all that cleaned out. And you're going to want to rinse these to remove all the strings and flesh. That about does it for the squash. Now let's go get the seeds out of the wheat. So I've put the wheat into these nice bundles so it'll be easy to maneuver. And the next process we're going to do is called threshing. So threshing is the process where you remove the seeds from the seed head. You can see when I take a seed head, even just in my hand, I can make the wheat berries start to fall out. It's so dry. There's a number of different ways you can approach threshing. When people are doing large amounts, they'll often lay down a tarp, lay out all the dried seed heads, and then use a baseball bat or even their feet. On a smaller scale, you can hit it against the side of a metal trash can, and the seed will collect in the bottom. But what we're going to do is we're going to place it into a paper bag and then knock the seeds off. So we got the wheat in the bag, and this is the point where we just get to crush it. All right, it's crushing time, my favorite part of threshing. Here we go. Wait a minute. Something's not right. Jeremy, how did you get in there? All right, now it's crushing time. So once you've crushed it, you're going to have this, something like this, which is going to be a mix of wheat berries and sort of loose debris. And so then you're going to want to do a process called winnowing. For winnowing, you're going to need a fan of some kind. And we're not actually going to do it for you live in the studio today, because you want to do it outside on a nice day. But what you're going to want to do is turn on your fan. You're going to want to play with the distance away from the fan and pour your mixture from one bowl to another. And hopefully the wind from the fan will blow away the chaff and leave those seeds clean in the bowl below. Well, that about does it for this episode. But before I go, I want to remind you that we're getting new garden titles in all the time. And I want to highlight a couple that you could put on hold today. So you can place these on hold and pick them up through our drive-through service. Now, the first title is The Lifelong Gardener, which is a great book on adapting your gardening for all sorts of physical limitations. And the second is Orchid Modern, which is a gorgeous new book on the world of orchids, which is one that's personally quite intriguing to me, and makes this kind of intimidating part of the plant world very accessible. Oh, Jeremy, don't worry. There'll be plenty of sunny days left in the season. Thanks again for joining us. I'm Austin Brigden. I've got to grow, but we'll seed you later in the Longview Library Garden.